Oh boy, another average day, except the difference being that it's my birthday today. I'm filled with so much happiness, as you could tell from my voice. Anyways, what are we doing today? Another Buzzfeed quiz. Because why not? At this point, I've lost all faith in humanity, and I might as well take another awful quiz from our friends at Buzzfeed. This time, how privileged am I? You see, today I am going to find out how privileged I am. I'm so excited. Well, this is one of those checking the box quizzes, and honestly, I get distracted so easily, and I forget to, check in boxes. So if I forget to check something in, that's just great. It's gonna mess up my score completely. But then again, what do I care? It's a BuzzFeed quiz. Okay? Check off all the statements that apply to you. I am white. They mean just white skin tone, right? Well, I'm not white, but I'm not completely dark either. Where do I belong? You know what, I'll just check it, because I'm probably going to pass off as white. I have never been discriminated against because of my skin color. No, I haven't. I have never been the only person of race in a room. When they say race, just white then? No. Okay. I have never been mocked for my accent. Oh, I've been mocked for having an accent, but not in the United States, for here in Mexico. Because I've had people tell me that you sound so American or something like that. So, yeah, I guess I could say I've been mocked for my accent. I've never been told I am attractive for my race. I've never been told I'm attractive ever. Okay. I've never been a victim of violence because of my race. No, I haven't. I've never been called a racial slur. Well, I've been called... Well, I guess in the context that these people were using it, it's not a racial slur, but I've been called gringo, which is basically saying American, or just someone from the United States. And it can be a racial slur, but, in the way that, like I said, the people that have told it to me, it wasn't used that way, but it can count as a racial slur. But it wasn't hard, so. I've never been told I sound too white. No. That's what I get here. A stranger has never asked to touch my hair or ask if it's real. No, I've never had that. I am a heterosexual. No. I've never lied about my sexuality. No, I've never had to lie about it. I've never had to come out. No, I haven't. I've never doubted my parents' acceptance of my sexuality. Well, I've had both of my parents doubt me for liking girls. I don't know what their stance is on that anymore, because I don't bring it up. Sexuality isn't something important for me. But I haven't doubted it. It's just that they don't really get it. Never been called a fag. Never been called a dyke. I've never been called a fairy or any other derogatory slur for homosexuals. No. Fairy, though? Okay, real quick. Why do they have to make these all three separate check marks? Don't these two basically go together with this one? Why do they have to be all separate? Is it just so that you can get bonus victim points? Probably. Okay, I've never had to hide my sexuality. No. I've always been comfortable with PDA with my partner in public. Is that, public affection? Public display of affection, yeah. No, not really. Mainly because I'm not that kind of person, not a very, public display of affection person. I'll hold hands, That's as far as I'll go. Anything else? No. I've never pretended just to be friends with my significant other. I have, but not for the reason that Buzzfeed probably thinks so. Mainly because, I mean, you just hit that point in your life where you don't want to tell your parents that you're dating someone, so you just have to pass it off as a friendship, you know? Oh, God. I have never been ostracized by my religion for my sexual orientation. No. I've never been told that I would burn in hell for my sexual orientation. No. I've never been told that my sexuality is just a phase. I have been told that, actually. I've never been violently threatened because of my sexuality. No. I am a man. I am a man. Is just completely a layer of privilege to you. If you are a man, you are much more privileged than anybody else in this earth. You hear me? Even the homeless bums living on the street, you, just because you have a penis, that means you're privileged. Dear God. I feel comfortable with the gender I was born in. Yes. Identify as the gender I was born in? Yes. I have never tried to change my gender? No. I have never been denied an opportunity because of my gender. I have, while going up to, like, for work, trying to apply for work, sometimes they tell me, oh, actually, we need a guy because this job requires a lot of heavy lifting and all that. And I get it. I mean, you look at me and I'm like this scrawny little thing. I make more money than my professional counterparts of a different gender. No, in all the jobs I've worked as, it's always been fair. You know? I have never felt unsafe because of my gender. Yeah? I've never been catcalled. No, I haven't. Never been sexually harassed or assaulted. I'm not even going to go into it, but I'm going to leave that unmarked. Never been raped. I work a salary job. I used to, not at the moment. My family and I have never lived below the poverty line. No, I mean, we've been pretty poor, but no. I don't have any student loans. No. I never go to bed hungry. I've actually had moments like that, so I'm just gonna... I've never been homeless. No. Parents pay for some of the bills. Yes. Parents pay for all of the bills. No. I don't rely on public transport. No. Buy new clothes at least once a month. Never done my taxes myself. We in Mexico don't really have taxes, so that's not a problem. I've never felt poor. That's a complete joke. I've never had to worry about making rent. No. I've never worked as a waiter, barista, bartender, or salesperson. I've worked as two of these things. Waiter and salesperson. They're not very fun jobs, I'll tell you that. I have an unpaid internship. No. Multiple. No. I went to summer camp. No. No. Yes, I graduated high school. No. No. Parents paid for some of my tuition. No. I've had a car in high school. No. Never had a roommate. No, I've never had a roommate. I've always had cable. That's a lie. I've traveled internationally. No, I haven't. I've traveled at least once a year. No. No. Never skipped a meal to save money. I don't know what Sally Mae is. I don't know what Sally Mae is. I'm gonna look that up after this. I spent spring break. No. Frequent front. No. Parents are heterosexual. I think so. I mean, I never asked them about it. Why would I? That's an awkward question. Both parents are still alive, as far as I'm aware. Still married. They've never gotten married. I do not have any physical disabilities. Do they count asthma as a physical disability? I don't think so. I'm just gonna leave that. Actually, no. Since I don't count it, fuck. Don't have any social disabilities. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I mean, I stutter a lot, but I don't think that's really a social disability. I don't have any learning disabilities. I learn very slow. I have a problem with learning new stuff. I've never had an eating disorder. I'm trying to think that over. I'm not gonna count it as a disorder, but I did have a time in my life where I had trouble eating. I've never been depressed. No. I've never considered suicide. I've never attempted suicide. There we go. I have never taken medication for my mental health. No. I can afford medication if I need it. I've never been told I am overweight or too skinny. Ah, shit. Oh god, sudden cough. Never been told overweight, too skinny. No. Never been shamed for my body type. I've been shamed? Heck yeah. I consider myself oh god. No. I can afford a therapist. I use prescription drugs. No. I've never had an addiction. When they say addiction, like, they mean literally any addiction, right? Like, it can even be, like, the most minuscule of things, like being addicted to biting your fingernails or something like that, right? In that case, I have my addiction. Biting my goddamn fingernails until they bleed. I want to stop. I just can't. Never been shamed for my religious beliefs. I actually have. Mainly because, like... oh, God. Mainly because, both sides of my family are highly religious. And when I started going off, talking about, like, maybe that I don't, like, have enough, evidence to believe in God or believe that there is some sort of higher power, like, that's when both sides of my family started going off on me, telling me that I need to accept God and Jesus back into my heart or whatever. And I mean, religion is fine. It's just, it's not really for me, you know? I've never been violently threatened for my religious beliefs. I've never been threatened. Never been attacked. There's a place of worship in my town. I doubt there is an agnostic place to worship something. I've never lied about my ethnicity. Yeah. I never lied about my religion. Yes. I mean, I've never had to lie. Why would you? All my jobs have been accommodated of my religious beliefs. You mean, like, accepted, right? Yeah. I am not nervous in airport security lines. I mean, I'm not. Only part I'm nervous about is going through the metal detector. Mainly because, like, you leave one little piece of metal on you, and just that loud ringing or buzzing or whatever, when you hear just the detector go off. You have been randomly selected for secondary passport control. I've never heard of this, no. I've never been called a terrorist, no. I've never had anyone try to save me for my religious beliefs. Yeah, both sides of my family, trying to save me. I've never been cyberbullied for my identities? Why do they say cyberbullied? And identities, they mean like the millions of genders people have made up, right? In that case, yeah. I was never bullied as a child for any of my identities. Are you kidding? Like, anybody who marks this is completely lying. Because I remember so many times in school, like, in elementary, pretty much everybody would get bullied on the playground. I mean, mainly it was the girls, right? Because it's like, oh, you throw like a girl and stuff like that. But everybody was bullied on the playground for whatever it is that you like, or that, like, if you're a boy or a girl, you get bullied no matter what. Anybody who marks this is a fucking liar. I have never tried to distance myself from any of my identities. No. Self-conscious? No. I've never questioned my identities. No. I feel privileged because of the identities I was born with. No, I don't. Alright, let's see. Oh! I'm not privileged. You live with 48 out of 100 points of privilege. You're not privileged at all. You grew up with an intersectional, complicated identity, and life will never let you forget it. You have had your fair share of struggles, and you work through to overcome them. We do not live in an ideal world, and you had to learn the hard way. It is not your responsibility to educate those with more advantages than you, but if you decide to go ahead and send them this quiz. Hopefully it will help. It's nice to know that Buzzfeed just likes to guess these things about you. Just because you might live a sadder life than somebody else. Oh, you are not privileged at all. You grew up with complicated identities, and you've had to work hard to overcome those, and you know the world that we live in is just so terrible, and everybody in it is just out to get you. Like, way to go on BuzzFeed for being positive, am I right? But I mean, that's how people like this act when you look at it. It's like the whole thing with feminism. It's like feminism is all supposed to be about female empowerment, but there they go making up fake statistics about how, like, I think it was the most bullshit one I've heard is that 3 out of 5 girls that go to college will get raped. It's like, that sounds terrifying, but you go on spreading this bullshit, just making women more scared. And like, I thought this movement was about female empowerment, not making them all into pussies. But I mean, heck, what do I know? I'm not a feminist. So yeah, I'll go ahead and send this quiz to any of my other friends that I believed are much more privileged than me, especially the ones that are men. So that'll be fun. Oh god. BuzzFeed, you sure know how to make my birthday a lot better. Anyways, I guess that's it. This has been Z, and I'll see you in the next video. God, this was terrible.